Professional as ever.
What do you think's going on with the internet this morning?
It's not the internet, it's your computer.
Well, I wonder if anything else will play.
No.
Yep,
Oh,
there we go.
There you go.
Oh, there isn't any sunshine. That's true. Good job, Bill. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
See, I guess the computer knows when we should stop.
Yes.
Okay. Wow. Not sure what's going on here.
Dana's weird laptop has suddenly become our producer.
That's how desperate it's gotten.
The dog went to sleep and said, no,
Yeah.
you're on your own.
Yep. Good morning. Happy Monday. It's Motivational Monday, and we are here to talk about the retreat I just hosted. So some of you heard me talk at various times since I've really been home from my writing retreat that I was going to put on this personal systems disruption virtual weekend retreat. Well, it's now in the past tense, which is incredible that it's come and gone.
Well, you worked hard on that, love.
I did work hard on it, and it was, I'm just going to pretend I'm not Scandinavian or Midwestern. It was a raging success.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I am so pleased with how it went. People came from California, Montana, Iowa, and Fargo. Thanks to everybody who came and participated and shared. Wow, I learned a ton, and it was just a great experience. So what we want to talk about today is kind of two-part. One, where in your life are you feeling like you want to try something big? You want to look at the edge of the cliff and not step back. You want to step over it in a positive way. Because that's really what I did. I read that thing, which we've talked about now a couple of times, about mapping out your life 3 years from now, doing exactly what you're doing or doing the thing that you dream about. And then what does that look like to make the first couple of steps in the next 90 days? So that is how this retreat happened when it did, because I knew I had October, November, and December to get things figured out for my 90-day challenge. So I just looked over the edge and stepped off. And it was so empowering. And I didn't step off without doing some work or prepping for it or trying to create fail-safes in case something went wrong. But I still took a great big leap of faith, as did the people who joined me. But I think there's something really parallel to the idea of becoming sober. I think a lot of people wake up and think, all right, today's the day I'm going to make the shift. And by the end of the day, they've had something to drink or they've lost their resolve. So can you come up with sort of a parallel from your perspective without me putting words in your mouth?
Well, I don't think well, for me anyway, it wasn't today's the day I'm going to be sober. I had to start uncontrollably bleeding to be put into a hospital. I had no plans not to drink. And I think a lot of people are like that. But when you get sober, and
however you do
it, and mercifully I don't remember it at all. And I've heard stories from people who do remember it, but from waking up from that point onwards, when you wake up sober, then that's the point, I think, when you say, all right, I don't have any alcohol in my blood. I've got over the chemical reaction of going through withdrawal. I've got a clean slate biochemically. What do I want to do with it?
Yeah, that is an edge to look over.
That is the edge, because I found it slightly scary, and I know more people that I know found it horrifying.
Would you really say you only found it slightly scary?
I think so. I'm definitely not trying to be stoic, because that never works for me, but I don't remember being terrified.
Okay.
And I've heard terrifying stories. So I don't think my first reaction was as scary as some other people's. That's the only way I'm taking that from.
Well,
I was pretty scared. I felt pretty lonely. but I also didn't know what to do. I knew I didn't want to be. I never liked drinking, and I knew I didn't want to continue doing it. So it was kind of like a regroup, look around. I mean, I was still groggy, I think I remember, but I just thought, well, I can't have a drink.
Take the leap.
You know, I can't have a drink. I'm in hospital. And literally, before I even heard the expression "one day at a time," I was taking it one day at a time.
So that's the first piece.
And then the second piece is actually when the day, which was my birthday, when you drove me to Prairie St. John, and I signed myself in for treatment.
I was going to speak about my second piece, Dr. Mary.
Okay. I'll make some toast.
The second piece of this that I think is highly relatable to people who are in any stage of addiction is that I had very, very carefully planned this retreat. It was 6 sessions. I had it planned down to the minute, which is not anything I do, but I wanted to take this very seriously, and I didn't want to leave things to chance to participate in this and to share this with them. So my first big plan was that I was going to break people into pairs over Zoom, and that they would go off into small rooms, and that then we would all come back as a big group. Well, guess what? Between Friday morning, when I had looked at everything to make sure Zoom was good, and Friday at 7 p.m. when the retreat started, Zoom did an upgrade, which my computer didn't tell me about. So I could not put them into small classes, small sections. And I broke into a complete and utter full body sweat. I had to take off a scarf and a sweater, and I knew that I had 8 pairs of eyes watching me, and I was just in a panic. I mean, if you watch this, you know IT is not my strength. And I thought, well, how can I have done all that prep work and all of that anticipating and been so smart about this, and now it's not working? Now what do I do? Now what? Now what? Now what? And I had to do what I think so often an addict has to do, and what actually we all have to do. I had to stop. I had to take a breath. I had to I had to just acknowledge that what I had planned was not going to work. And I had to very quickly come up with plan B. And the 8 fabulous people on my retreat were so generous about me figuring out plan B. And here's the most amazing part, and then I'm going to turn it over to you.
No, you go. This is good.
Plan B turned out to be way better than plan A. When given the opportunity, after I upgraded Zoom, to move into small pairs, I did ask them to do it once so that we could see what we thought of it. Almost to a person, I've heard back that staying as a large group was much more successful. So my takeaway from that, and my challenge and motivation for anybody going through anything hard, is stop, breathe, and figure out what's plan B. So now can you talk about, because this is where I thought it actually sort of made some sense to this. What happens when you've worked up the courage to go to the first party, to be in your first environment where alcohol is near you, or whatever it is you struggle with, and people don't necessarily know that you're not drinking anymore, and that you're kind of nervous, and somebody says, "Here, Maz, here's a drink." What do you do?
I've actually been quite lucky on that too. I've heard stories of people having drinks forced upon them. Like, where have you been? Have a drink. We were told to have a plan B, C, D, E, and F. And I just remember that there's 2 things that always strike to mind. One, I hate to sort of bring up anything this person says, but I do like boxing, believe it or not. And Mike Tyson shouldn't be someone who's held up to give great advice, considering he's
Yes, he's got some personal problems. Yes.
He always said that you need a plan B because everyone has a plan A to get punched in the face.
Right.
But Omar Bradley is a general, an American general during World War II. He always asked his chief of staff what plan B was. He said, "I want to hear plan A. I want, what's plan B?" And he goes, "What's wrong with plan A?" He goes, "It never works."
Yeah.
Plan A's never going to work. What's plan B? So the first event I went to with Dana, I think it was at the Holiday Inn
I don't
Hotel.
remember.
It was a big
Doesn't
gala
matter.
thing anyway. So my plan A was to just say to Dana, I'm going for a walk. And my plan was to go out.
If you needed to.
If I needed to, walk around the inside of the building. If you've ever been in that building, it's just conference rooms with a big square that's inside it. I thought I'd just walk around that. Plan C would be to go outside. Plan D would be to go home. Plan E would be to maybe phone my sponsor if I needed to. But I had plans. That doesn't work, I'll try this. And I didn't need any of it. I just sat down and had a fantastic evening.
So I think it's important to note that you are maybe not the norm. You might be the exception, although we're learning from more and more people that there are more people who are able to set alcohol aside once and for all and pretty easily not struggle with it, which is great. I'm so happy to hear that.
I've heard a lot of people that say to me that they, I've said to them, I like doing stuff, if something needs fixing around the house, I can do it again. And they goes, yeah. They all said to me, yeah, I got more patience. I can think about how to work it out and do it without getting flustered or giving up or trying to having a drink to calm down. I said, yeah, so I take a breath.
Yeah.
I was putting a light switch in and the wire flung back into the ceiling. So I made myself a cup of tea. Well, actually, I made myself a cup of coffee. I got a screwdriver and a bit of string, and I spent about 10 minutes finding the thing and pulled it out and put the light in. I was done in half an hour. If I was still drinking, I'd have pulled down a big chunk of the ceiling to find the wire.
Yes, that is true.
So, you take a breath, exactly what you did.
Yeah, and you come up with plan B, C, D, E. So here's the lesson that I learned. Carefully made plans, going back to this general person, what's his name?
Omar Bradley.
Carefully made plans often go awry. So it behooves you to have a plan B, to have some kind of backup. If I had thought through, all right, what am I going to do if Zoom doesn't work? If somebody can't find the link, I had kind of problem solved for a number of the pieces, but not all of them. I would have been in such much better shape if I had thought to myself, all right, what if I can't get people into breakout rooms? Then what? You can't anticipate every problem, but it does serve us all, addict, non-addict, whatever, to have backup plans.
Yeah.
Because life is unpredictable and it can come out of nowhere and throw you off your game. And how you respond is the important part. How I responded mattered. I did break into a total sweat. I did have to calm myself down. But we ended up having an amazing weekend because the people I was with and I just graciously recognized that we had to come up with a plan B, and so we did, and so we did. So we encourage you to take that as your motivation. Try to anticipate what you're going to do with plan B, C, and beyond, but also know that life is unpredictable, and sometimes you have to just stop, breathe,
take a breath,
and move forward.
No, I had to get sober to learn that, and for years I always thought all these self-help books were a load of baloney, but there is definitely something in all of this. Just taking a breath helps immensely.
Absolutely. So have an excellent Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, happy Monday.
Bye.
Bye.